Hey, welcome back here to the Central PA Pour and our Season 5 wrap-up. As you can see, we have 4 in the house. Starting off to my left, kind of in the center there, is Mr. Kevin. And then Mr. Ben, my son, who's joined us this season. And then Dave. Off to my right, your left, as you're sitting watching there.
Yeah.
So, guys, Season 5. We wrapped up 5 seasons.
It's a long time. It's good.
It is a long time.
Good time.
Now, I wish we had the numbers to match that. Anyways, keep giving us a like and subscribe on our YouTube channel at Central PA Pour. It helps us. We like doing what we're doing in this. Give us a like and subscribe on the Instagram, Facebook, and I believe we do have a TikTok, just has not been too active here recently. So wherever you get your podcast, we're on all the audio platforms. Give us a like and listen there as well. And also reach out to our friendly partners, Hopped Up Network. Cheers to the Hopped Up Network that put out a lot of podcasts on craft beer and stuff. So give them a look on Hopped Up Network. So guys, Season 5. Now, Kev, you haven't been around for quite
I haven't.
many of them.
Nope.
What was some of your favorite, memorable, any of the ones we did?
Well, like I always say, I'd probably say the same thing every time. You know, the unique stories, whether it's a team that brews, just the amount of pressure that they go through to make sure they get their regulars done. And then try to have that special time to get their, trials, in there to see what they can do.
Yeah. Ben, I mean, you haven't been with us but a couple episodes. So what are some of your favorite ones that you've actually sat in with us?
Well, you know why I got into this is because of the food and beer tasting. That's my favorite thing right there. Food, beer, free. How could you not?
Yeah. Our first one was up at our good friends at Back Porch Brewing in Carlisle.
Yeah, that was really fun up there.
That was a good time. Good food. Great pairing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Their choices for that food pairing were spot on.
Yeah.
Dave, how about you?
Yeah. Same thing. The food pairing.
The food pairings?
Food pairing. That's like a next step for us. We've done several years of the beer and wine and whiskey tasting, and
we're going to continue that.
And we're going to continue that, but this is something new, something that we could branch off into, and I think there's a lot of ways that this can go, the pairing for the food, and I just like what we can do with this. So.
Yeah, we do have a lot more that want to do it. It's just kind of like our first season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a time matter to come up with a good day to go do that.
Right.
Because we just can't pack up and come up on a weeknight. We'll be there till midnight. And some of us work in the morning.
You mean you can't do those late nights anymore?
No, I can't.
That's tough.
Still always young at heart.
Young at heart. Yeah, that's about it. Young at heart.
Well, we probably could do a lot more of the food pairing and stuff like that late at night if we had people.
If we had people.
That's it.
We need people.
If we weren't the people.
If you're volunteering, give us a shout out, man. And,
there it is.
Yeah, give us a shout out at centralpapor@gmail.com. Shoot us an email if you want to be our people, setuppers and movers.
Yes.
Well, the whole thing is we will end up with people to do the help because it's getting bigger and it's getting more elaborate and we're getting a lot more opportunities to go out. Like the last couple of years, we had everything in the studio.
Yeah,
and then we found out that the food pairing isn't as easy to do in studio. In fact, it's very hard, very hard to do in studio.
Well, you know what? That was with George Street Brewing. Yeah.
They were the
and
first.
Bill, that was an impromptu. That was actually our first food pairing this year. We got Bill Sierra from George Street Brewing
Street,
to come in,
right.
and he brought us food with it. So that was the impromptu.
And we've been there a few times since then.
Yeah, we do.
Good time. Very nice time.
Yeah, he's got a nice little place there. He's not a brewer, but his story is unique where he brought Penn Brewing from Pittsburgh in, and he's contracting with that.
Very nice, clean establishment.
Yes, I definitely downtown York on Restaurant Row. There's plenty of places to choose from. Gift Horse is right there, George Street. Liquid Hero is right down the road. There's plenty of places downtown York that we like to frequent. Sometimes too much. Mostly not enough. You know, that we have all these guests that we've had recordings with, and it's tough. It's tough to get out and go visit them in person to go see what their establishment's like. You know, I think I get to more than most of you guys.
Yeah.
Just because when I'm out, I'm like, oh, I'm going to stop there. And Dave's just old. He just doesn't go out.
No, I don't. No.
Do you do the DoorDash?
What's that?
You use DoorDash, don't you?
Can you
no,
do that?
I'm going to be honest. No, I don't
you
do.
can.
I don't use DoorDash.
What's DoorDash?
Oh,
Where they
boy.
bring the food
Yeah,
and the
they bring-
drinks to you, the groceries.
I'm just joking.
No.
Because I did that with when we first started mentioning TikTok. I'm like, what the hell is TikTok?
Yeah.
Now, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get DoorDash for free.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I am Prime. Optimus Prime.
Optimus.
Anyways, hey, we kicked off this season with one of our friends, Carmen Pantano from Buy Local Coalition, and Paul Schiffbauer, who we met at Brew Kids on the Block last year.
Yep. That's coming up quick.
Everything comes up quick. I
Yeah.
mean, here we are. We're in May.
Yep.
May.
Yeah.
Where did the first quarter go?
I was just told that by my boss today.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit. It's just like, I can't believe how fast 2025 is going already.
Yeah.
You know, my mom used to tell me, your mamaw
No,
used
I
to
know.
say, don't wish it, it goes fast enough. And she's 100% correct.
Yeah.
That's true. My parents used to tell me, don't wish your life away.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people do, a lot of kids.
Yeah, what are the three ages? You want to be 16 to drive. Of course, the new kids they're not looking at that like we used to.
Right.
No,
You want to be 18 to graduate and 21 to drink
Yep.
legally.
And then after that's done.
And then after that, it's like, wow, where did that go?
I know. I hit 30 last year, and I'm just like, gosh, am I already that old age stage? I got a bald spot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the three of us can vouch. It's like we look at our kids, it's like,
The grandkids now for me. Well, Dave
Wait.
as well.
yeah,
That's
I
true.
got one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not from my boys,
Yeah.
but Sally and I have one.
that's right.
And he'll be 12.
God dang right.
Wow.
Right.
In a couple years, he'll be driving. Oh my! No, it was a good season. I mean, we like you said, we branched out into some of the food pairings, which we've talked about trying to do some different content. We went back to some of the brew festivals. Yeah, you know, with the Oktoberfest. We went back to the Winter Brew Fest in Redline, which, yeah, we take it mobile on those sites, but they're fun. They're
You guys
fun.
also
as hell.
did the barrel. God.
Yeah,
Red
the-
Lion.
Yeah, the Winter Brew Fest.
Yeah, the Winter Brew Fest.
Yeah,
Okay.
down at the
Yeah.
Double Barrel,
Double barrel.
which you didn't join us.
No.
So that was a Dave and I show.
Yep. We did it.
Yeah.
There was no bull there either.
No, it wasn't.
No, I watched that.
But yeah, those kind of events are fun. I know we've been invited to a few others. Anti-Fragile does the one up that was
Penn State.
Yeah, that's coming up this month in May. I'm not sure if it's going to be in Beaver Stadium this year or not.
I thought he said it was in Beaver Stadium.
Last year, I know he said it was, but this year I'm not sure if
okay.
it's going to be. But, you know, I can't make that. I'd love to go up, but that'd be cool. You go up to Beaver Stadium and go to a beer festival, so that'd be
Yeah.
cool. But we had some great guests. We always have great guests, you know, and their stories, like you said in the beginning, Kev, are unique. They're different. Sometimes if you're watching our episodes, it's the same old, but their stories are their own, and you know that's what we're here to do. We're here to let them tell their stories So you out there can get to know them if you come to this area or the area they're in and go visit them.
I just told my wife tonight, actually during our dinner, I said I got to get to Mason-Dixon so I can get some of those canned cocktails.
Yeah.
Because that's my lawnmower beer. You know, I need hard stuff for mowing lawn.
Yeah, we haven't been up there, and you know what? He'd be a perfect food pairing idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good food up there.
Very good food.
Yeah, we
He's
sampled
really
it.
starting to expand. I've been watching his social media events, and he put, I don't know if it was a cook or somebody in charge now, and he's out.
He had another chef or something,
Yeah.
or promoted him.
Yeah.
Still the chef, but I guess letting him be the operations manager.
Yeah, and sounds like he's really doing a good job. I love the canned cocktails. I mean, I love the straight whiskey myself and the bourbon and
He puts out some very
potent.
potent stuff.
Yeah, especially the what was that? Ben drank.
That was the 120 proof rum, and then when we had him back on, he did the bourbon, which was 125 proof, and it was like
The gin is good. The vodka.
Yeah.
No, was it vodka? I know it was gin. I can't remember what the other one was, though. I bought a few bottles.
yeah, I think I got a bottle over here. It might be vodka. We've had even our most recent episode, Isaac's.
Mm-hmm.
Great guys, and if you've been on Isaac's, maybe you knew, but I sure as hell didn't know that Isaac's did beer. So it was funny after that episode, after we recorded with them, we were sitting around on a Friday night, and I told Sally, let's go to Isaac's. So we did. At what was it, the Mallard? It's a pretzel rolled sandwich. Very good. Really good. Beer's really good too. I enjoyed that beer.
Nice.
That was one of my favorite episodes. That just to know their history and story, and that just to know that they're a Central PA location only.
Yep.
That was wild.
Pennsylvania, because they were, but they're originally
yes.
from Central PA. Yeah. We had Brooks Haymauer back on. He was our second guest ever that we've ever had on.
Yep.
We had Brooks back on.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Him and his wife joined us, and Brooks, fantastic guy, awesome little place, and award-winning beer. I mean,
I just watched that one the other day, and that was, God, my God, I can't believe I missed it. Yeah, they're good people, very good people.
yeah. He talked about his whole story going through his house burning down and the rebuilding and changes that they made to the tap room. So, I think all our guests are
Settling in.
settling in.
I think that's the way to put it, because some that had previous plans of growing quickly settled down because they saw the market growing so quickly,
Yeah.
and others just kept their rolling. Kept just the pace that they were going and
Yeah.
enjoying every minute of it.
And, we had some amateur brewers back on, Rehab out of Harrisburg. What did we have? Was it 7 of us down here again? In that one, on that episode, it was 4 of them.
Yeah, it was 4 of them and 3 of us, I believe.
Yeah, so it was
And
7 of us
So
again.
it was seven total.
Not quite as much as it was when we had Scabs on,
No. No.
because that was a drunk fest.
Yeah, we've had some pretty good memories that we've established over the few years here.
I felt like on that one. I felt like that the waitresses were bringing the big tankers of beer down to us,
Between
and it didn't stop.
What did I miss that part? Because I like those pictures. You know, they got them dresses pushed, and everything's just like pushed way up.
between
The thing that I recalled on that one is the fact that we took the break. I left the room and I come back and here they had filled up all
We refilled that whole thing.
filled up all the flights,
right.
and I'm like,
Yes.
wait, we should be done.
you had to walk somebody home, I think, that night, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not going to mention who, Dave, but
right next door too. We even
we
had,
all been there, though.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Oh yeah.
been there.
That's what we got to figure out, how to get this studio upstairs so we don't have the stairs to walk up. We're feeling good.
I think you're going to get a big fight out of that one.
Yeah. She's already fighting me when this sofa over here moves.
Uh-oh.
She's afraid that we're expanding the.
Yeah.
I say, well, maybe a little.
Did you tell her that you want to move the sofa, or you're not? You're just going to let it be a surprise?
Well, no, the sofa's gone. We're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
There's a compromise that may happen. She wants about three more feet
5.
in the room that's over here,
Wow.
and then we can have the rest.
Oh, so you can. That's where you're going to put your audio booth and your people who control the people.
Yeah.
No, we might
help.
still do the table here, but we might set up a cabana style.
We can bring down your Blackstone and
That'd be
hook it
kinda
up
cool.
to exhaust outside. We can do our own in-house.
You know, that's what this was originally going to be.
Yeah.
The brewing room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got in. I had an idea to do a podcast.
That was a terrible
You know what,
idea,
though?
but it's too
I'll make
good.
you famous. Dude, how many times did we say that in the beginning? That got old.
It did. It did. It was
Yeah.
funny when we first said that. It was our first recording, and Ben looked at us. Your Ben looked
Yeah.
at us like, "What are you talking about, dude? You never watched Young Guns?" I mean, we had
Is it good?
yeah, we had Hops and Vines on, who's does a charity work, run. You know, Aaron from Hops and Vines. Lou Bryson
Yeah. Yeah.
has his own podcast. He's also on What's Brewing, which is a TV show out of Montgomery County. The what do they call it? The Montgo Rail Trail, Beer Trail, or something. So
I've downloaded a few of his books on Instagram. Or,
yeah, he's an author.
Audible.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
an author.
Yep. Interesting.
He was fun. That was our first food pairing when I brought the Burger King Whoppers home
yeah.
that night
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds
because
like
I saw that on
It actually was good.
it was and
Actually,
I don't know
yeah.
if we had too many or what, but it was good.
no because I think we surprised him with that when I
Yeah.
put the Burger King hat on and we had the Whoppers here. They were cold,
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit.
that's what made him good.
but when they did it, it was the What's Brewing show. Their one season ended. I was watching it and they were doing like Taco Bell, Burger King, and Lou talked about how the onions in the burger paired well with the ESB, which is a pub ale.
Yeah.
And by God, he was 100% correct. It paired very well with that. So when we brought that out, I thought, and he had just taken a sip of something. I thought he was spitting it out.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That's why we
I
can't
forgot
do.
about that. Was a good episode.
Yeah,
Sorry, Dave, I interrupted you.
We can't do that in house in the studio because of that. Like you said, the Burger King,
Gets
the
cold.
Whopper was cold.
Yeah, it gets cold.
and it makes a big difference when you're eating cold food with cold beer and hot food with a cold beer. There is a difference, and when we go to the actual establishment, it's kind of nice because.
Yeah.
They bring it out, and it's right off the stove or right out of the oven or
grill,
whatever,
yep.
and it's hot,
Yep.
and we get the experience that the customer gets, so that we can really tell you, it's just, this is great because these are hot wings and cold beer. So
That-
I don't think Burger King really could give a shit whether it was hot or cold when we were.
And you know what? Depends on how many beers you have. You don't think you give a shit if you have a ton of beer, if it's hot or cold either. But yeah, everything that we've done. Like I said, we hit home. We're record with anybody to let them tell their story. So if you do know somebody that's out there that you frequent, a local establishment, whether it's a winery, a cidery, meads. We haven't done any meads or ciders yet.
Yeah.
Ooh, I know a good mead guy.
So do I. Yeah.
We had Prototype on here last season. They do mead, but we only had their beer that time.
Yeah.
But I don't think they got a brick and mortar. They're just they're Prototype for a reason. I think they do contractual brewing.
I mean, think about this. I mean, you fill in the blanks with the names, but the women, the one that that sponsors all the beer locally around. She was
Vicky.
Vicky. Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Even the lady last week, with their episode we're going to be putting out soon here
From Erie.
from Erie.
Yeah.
It's just there's no limits of people when they have the drive to do something. They get out there, they sell, they expand their areas, and you go to the local, the local beer, store. There's so much to choose from now, from local.
It is.
And it's so nice.
I find myself when I go to an area, I go to and I'm looking for something that's not mass produced.
It's interesting. We had a golf tournament a few weeks ago, and I didn't bring. I brought a little whiskey with me, but they were giving out beer, and I started with a Yingling, then I went to a Coors or something, and it's like, man, what
Tastes
the hell
different,
is
doesn't
this?
it? Tastes different.
Yeah, it's the domestic flavor that.
Yep.
that
Well,
you
you'd
get.
mentioned that recently as well. It drinking it now, I think you were kind of talking about, Dave. Did they change the recipe at all, or is it just our palates have changed so much that it
think
has
so.
a whole different
Yeah.
flavor profile for us?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You guys opened your horizon to all these
Yeah.
new flavors, hops.
Well, look at
That's it.
I mean, all of us. Well, Dave and I, we didn't like IPAs. I'm not going to say they're our favorites, but we're trying them now.
your palate, you've opened up your idea and horizon of what it is.
We definitely all like stouts, but like the sours were good. Then they kind of, for me, anyways. I'm not speaking to everybody.
They're a picky one.
They're a picky one, but it's just you're absolutely right. We've tried so much now. We have that. When we first started, I got a taste of and our guests would help us finish that sentence, and now we don't need that anymore.
But you'll taste something and I won't.
Well,
Yeah, it's true.
That's human nature, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last few times, you take that initial sip, you get it down, and then you do, then you take that second one, you float it around your tongue. You feel from the beginning to the end all the different stages as it goes through that process.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And we've learned a lot about certain hops and certain grain bills and characteristics of what we're looking for, because that's kind of what we're here to do, is let them tell their stories. We're educating ourselves, and hopefully it's educating you out there as well, that maybe it's creating a buzz and say, look, I want to learn more. I'm going to go out and research different hops. So,
yeah.
I was just telling somebody I brewed our first American style IPA, still sitting in the fermenter, and somebody stopped over and they were talking about like the hops, and I'm like, okay. So I showed them the Citra, the Centennial, and the Cascade. I said, read the notes. So now if you go to a brewery and you order a certain beer with these hops in, you understand the flavor profiles that you're going to want to try and figure out in your head. Do I taste the citrus? Do I taste the wood? Do I taste the
Right.
grapefruit note? I don't know what some of this. I don't know. Go and you see this like tastes like stone fruit, tastes
Right.
like rockfish. Who the hell knows what rubber tastes like?
Right.
I mean, so it's all in the notes of what the hop characteristics are. So, and there's hundreds of hops and new varieties coming out all the time.
Well, our first 2 years, every IPA, it tastes like burnt tire.
Yeah.
That was you.
That was me. And now I can actually tell the differences. And,
It was funny back in the early days. You're like, I like the West Coast. I don't like the hazies. And then you get a West Coast. It tastes like a burnt tire. Well, that's
Yeah.
what you fucking said you wanted.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And I not that I travel much, but I
Not that you travel. I
I was
like
gonna say you travel more than most.
North America and
Germany once in a
Yeah.
while.
How many
yeah,
days you're not here.
especially around Oktoberfest.
But-
This dude over here went to Germany and was over there for Oktoberfest, and something that I wouldn't mind seeing.
But it
You didn't even get an invite.
you go from
No.
different locations, and like a West Coast IPA, because of the brewer, it tastes different where you
and
go,
it's-
and I think that is so unique. And
A lot of it has to do with what grains they're using, their water profile.
Yep.
Everything. It's a science.
It is.
And we
Water's-
learned that early on that this is a major science.
water is a huge deal. And I was trying to go through some of the last few episodes because we had a guest that they spoke about they didn't need to dilute or fix their water because it was so natural.
It was filtered so much through
Yep.
the limestone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And oh god,
Wasn't Wolf, was it?
No.
no.
He could probably tell you down to the molecular
Yeah.
structure of what is water.
He probably has his own reverse osmosis
Probably.
set up.
And sometimes you do have to do a reverse osmosis. I don't understand what that is yet, but I just when I'm brewing here at the 5-gallon batches, I just go down to the store and buy spring water.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'm not using the Dover tap water because it's full of iron.
Now that you got more capacity, you ought to try one of each. The same exact brew with natural.
That's a lot of time. It's a 6 to 7 hour day to clean up,
Well,
and then to do a second batch. Fuck that.
Dave's got all the time in the world. I mean, come on, Dave.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can
just
help
have-
you in the morning.
I have-
Brett can help you at night on the way.
I have loads of time. Just
Well, you
loads of
do.
time.
You're retired.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been tired, then I'm retired.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we all have our favorites. I think it was with Isaacs. They brought their IPA, and Dave caught me off guard. He said it's good. I'm
Yes,
like,
it was-
what?
yeah. I like
Dave said it's good.
Now I'm not gonna back off the fact that it did taste hoppy, but I could take it because of the fact that the beer was so good.
And you also mentioned during
beer
that
was very-
that
what's
your preconceived idea of IPAs because of your past experience.
Yeah.
with probably a shit one.
Yeah. Or a shitload of shit ones, and
Kind of like me with Jack Daniels.
Oh my!
Oh,
I can't do Jack Daniels. I can't even stand the smell of it.
that's the cheap stuff now. I mean, we're blessed with the people that make whiskey around here.
Oh yeah,
Bourbons
and Corey at Hidden Stills.
yeah, absolutely.
That
yeah,
I'm not the bourbon guy like you and Dave, but David E. Bourbon,
Yeah,
it's freaking good.
yeah.
it is good.
Really good. Yeah, we need to get some more distillers on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that we shouldn't have too much problem with that because there's been quite a few distillers that we've talked to.
Then there's been plenty of content coming out of some of the people we have recorded with that have not got the gumption up to actually want to pursue it.
Yep.
Bill from Old Republic wanted to bring in a distiller, a brewer, or somebody
Yeah.
that makes wine and that, and kind of
Yeah.
just talk about the whole different process of. They're similar, but they're not. I think that's great. That's a
good idea.
informational video.
That sounds like it's going to be a long episode.
Oh yeah,
That would
Be a good one though,
episode,
because it'd be
yeah.
very informational.
Yeah, informational.
you tape it and you bust it up into two sessions.
Part 1, part 2.
That's it.
Here's pre-drinking. Here's after drinking.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Now, am I thinking correctly? Aldous and Hanover, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I liked their IPAs.
Yeah.
They were good. They were good.
And I've been in contact numerous times with Adam from Cartel.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is desperate to have us come over there during some of his special events. I think the most recent one was he had a barley wine where he brought in like some of the big names like Tired Hands and stuff like that. And they all brought these barrel-aged barley wines to Cartel Brewing. And it's a pay you pay to go in there, but he has been after us several times to come over during these events, and the dates just never work out that we can make it work. But I still stay in touch with him. He was season 2, I think he was.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while since we recorded with Adam. And you talk about a phenomenal brewer and the beer. Wow.
I can't say we had one that, let us down. They all.
Well, Josh, our neighbor, came over
Yeah.
on Sunday because he's been wanting to try the Irish Red. That was his favorite one that I brewed so far.
Is there still some left?
Yeah, I limited him. But
Okay.
he never really had found a barley wine he liked, so I cracked open the only barrel-aged Cartel I had from 2022.
Ooh, 5 years sitting still.
3 years, yeah. Really good.
Oh,
22.
I was thinking 2020. Sorry.
So
about
the
23.
that and he's like, Josh is like, this is pretty good. I said, that's a good barley wine.
Yeah.
I forgot I still have Boneshires in my refrigerator, and that's a freaking awesome
Yeah.
barley wine.
Yeah.
It's not going to top to the Colossus that we had.
Oh, no.
If I ever see that come back out, I'm buying a couple of them.
Well, let me know. I'll chip in.
We'll just sip them because 24.2%, it's a sipping.
Yep.
One of these years, I'm buying a Utopia from Sam Adams. I'm buying the Utopia. They're about the same thing, about 24%, but it's also like $300.
300.
That's where it starts. If you're lucky, you get it for $300. If not, you're paying more. But that's a gift to myself because I want one so bad.
That's what you do. You go out and you say, hey, I haven't done anything for myself for a couple of...
Well, I can't say that, but I mean, look at the equipment I buy.
Yeah, in the garage and...
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go on
Us
and on
peasants
and on.
around you.
Peasants, my ass.
Yeah, the peasants.
I just put my money in different spots and you guys put yours. That's all. But
No, it like with Erie, we were talking about pumpkin beer, the holiday beers and stuff, and how many different flavors from the different
Yeah.
companies, and that's something I don't think any of us really care for, but we can all probably name one brewer that, man, theirs is pretty good.
I tell you what, I never was a pumpkin beer fan until we had Emery up here from Scrubbies with
Yeah.
his.
Yep.
It tasted like a pumpkin pie.
Yep. But how many different recipes have we heard about that?
There's
with
so many. Yeah.
it's too many.
Like you could do it with pumpkin, you could do it with yams. It depends on
Squash or
the
whatever.
nutmeg.
Yep.
You're gonna put that in, or cinnamon, and blah blah blah. And that's what's so unique about what we're in this craft industry. Whether no matter what it is, it's what are you going to do with that style of beer? What is to make it unique to you, your area, or whatever?
Mine's the peanut butter Hefe here, like from Back Porch Brewing. I haven't found one that I liked until I got this one here.
Yeah.
And to me, that one's pretty good.
I'm not a Hefe fan. It's one of my not go-to beers is a Hefeweizen, but
I'm not a big fan of peanut butter and beer either.
I wasn't either a long time ago, like until Kevin said, until I had, when we first had Tim and Rod on from Back Porch.
Yeah.
Our first year, they brought that Hefeweizen down, and it was really good. And
we drink those.
We drink too much. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we drink too much. Those little 2-ounce shot glasses that we have for the. When you fill one of those up and you drink it, it's not bad, but. Some of
you don't want it to full pour.
I don't want.
Maybe we
I don't
can.
want a full. I don't want a pint.
Sounds like you do.
Maybe we can add some
No, I don't
pictures
think so.
from my house when we used to do the full glasses. That was
Oh yeah, the original.
our first couple.
Our
The
first
original.
couple.
Yeah.
Because this stems from our beer sharing nights. This is how this started.
Yeah, you sit around the fire with the cigar and
I know. We remember when we do that.
hors
Then we
d'oeuvres.
started doing monthly beer sharings.
Yeah.
And we'd rotate the houses and usually leave with a pretty good buzz.
Yeah. That's because we never had anywhere that we had to go to get home.
Well, the three of us.
The
But
three of us.
if we went to Kevin's son Ben's house, we had to have a ride back.
Yeah, we
took a pit stop, if you don't remember.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me this time. What's some of the content you guys want us to, some different stuff that we ought to pursue?
Food pairing.
to keep the food pairings. But is there something else out there that we want to? You guys have any ideas?
I don't know. Dave came over, so maybe we should start up the Mix-A-4 packs again.
What do you mean?
I thought you guys in the very first beginning episodes, you guys brought,
The Mix of Six.
yeah, Mix-A-6.
The Mix of Six. That was
Little
That was
tasting
Ben
stuff.
doing
Ben's,
live stuff.
that was Ben's.
Yeah.
You'd have to. I think that if you wanted to bring that back, you can, but you have to have a different format for it because I think the format of trying to do it every week with a new
With a
person,
guest.
Yeah.
That was tough.
really tough.
It's tough.
It was really tough.
Even if it's just us four,
Well, I can tell you to do that, you're going to have to be consistently doing it.
oh my.
I think Ben found out what I told him early on is finding a guest every week at 8:00 at night is going to be tough.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a commitment. It's a long-term commitment. I know a few friends that are in the podcasting business and for my industry, and they say yes, and then after a while,
Yep.
one drops out because it is a huge time commitment. This is enough time commitment, and we're only doing recordings. We're not doing it live.
Yeah.
Right.
We tried a couple live episodes early on.
It's interesting because every field has podcasts pertaining to that. Like me, it's for precast, and the group that does that, they were kind of like us for the first few years. They were solid, and then it slows down because people get busy.
Yeah, we're slowing down. By this time last year, we had already probably did 8 recordings.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And right now, it's just a time constraint to try and get guests to commit, us to commit. It's starting to become a struggle. So just saying that, if you don't see a lot of episodes in the near future, that is why we're trying to effort some guests and get some recordings out and get the content out to you. So we've been pretty consistent for 3 years.
yeah,
We try and do at least 2 a month.
probably 4 seasons worth.
We did struggle a couple times. When my dad died,
Yep.
we went through a couple, like about a month and a half there. We didn't have an episode. But yeah, for the most part, we've been pretty consistent. We do have interested parties. It's a matter of conversing and coming up with dates. And now that we can bring them in remotely, that helps for those that are far away. The downside to that is we rely on their equipment and their technology, their internet, to make sure that the video and the quality that we're putting out is what up to our standards. And sometimes our standards fall below our standards because of equipment failures.
Right. Yeah, but all kidding, all whatever aside, internally we've come a long ways.
We have. Go back and look at some of our first couple episodes.
95% of our bleeps are not our personal problems.
No.
So.
Yeah.
And, so that means a lot. I mean, I can't take any credit because I'm just a dumbass that shows up when I'm around. But, you two, and now you're in here, Ben. And, I mean, it takes a lot of knowledge. I mean, I'm looking over at that board. I kid Dave every week. What the hell takes 15 minutes to read this thing? And, but I'm looking over there, and there's like, whatever it is, 6-7 rows of buttons. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Well, when we first started this, I had some audio background. Dave had audio background. We didn't have any video background.
Yeah.
Didn't have no clue how this was going to work. Dave and I spent about, 4 weeks trying to figure it out?
Oh, anyhow. And I was a nasty bastard. I really was.
That's fine. And we were all proud of that our first season. I mean,
I used to bitch at Brett for the dumbest shit, just because I'm an immature bitch.
We're all childish here.
I quit. You don't know how to do this.
That wasn't because of that wasn't because of me. That was equipment failure.
Well, right. But
Yeah.
I just
And the only person not pissed that night was our guest.
right.
Yeah, the guests.
But in my background, I'm a manager. I tell you, what to do, and I have no idea. I don't know how to fix a problem. I have no. I'm clueless.
But you know what? You talk to anybody that does this.
Yes.
They all
Same
have.
thing.
They
Same
run
thing.
into the same problems. Yeah.
It's like our portable mics there. They work great for three three shows, and
Then
then
we-
all of a sudden the goddamn battery won't stay charged. You know?
Oh yeah.
Why? There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, and they're-
I know I plugged them in all right. You know.
Yeah, and they're one of the better manufacturers.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
everybody uses those
Yeah,
things.
you look at any of the
Yeah.
what do you call them? People that are content creators, or what do you call them? Like there's a word for them. They're that they whatever
Influencers.
influencers.
There we
That's what
go.
I'm looking for. They're using the same mics,
Same
Yes,
mics.
they
Yeah.
are.
and we have problems.
Yeah. Oh, it follows
It might be the dumbasses that are trying to run.
I don't know.
Could be.
See, that's
I've already ridiculed myself too much, so it's all on you guys now.
You know, I bring that Keyser home, right? My two sons helped me bring it home. It worked when we unplugged it and they carried it out of the basement. Bring it home. It needed cleaned. I cleaned it up. Left it sit up there in the garage. Got new hoses, new lines.
Wait a
in
minute.
it.
Wait, let me interrupt. Left it sit. Is that a Pennsylvania thing? We
Yeah,
don't
left
use
it
that in
sit.
New York.
Yeah, like I go up to Florida.
Okay. Me too.
everything's up for us.
Yeah. And you're talking about next Friday. That's a whole.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow.
That's a whole conversation.
No,
It's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow is this Friday. Next Friday is next Friday.
6 of one,
Right.
half dozen of the other.
We're giving you Dober English.
Yeah, something like that.
But anyways, so I have it all cleaned up. I got new lines in it. I'm ready to plug it in. Not working. You can hear the compressor go and then go off.
Can I get you a
Click.
drink a while?
I'm like, so I got a guy coming tomorrow to look at it, and whatever, we'll see. But it worked when we pulled it out of the basement, which was a whole new story.
Wait. Did you piss that money away?
Maybe.
I'll buy your.
I mean,
freezer. I'll buy your
what
freezer.
he sold it to me for?
Yeah.
There's no way in hell I'd have built that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you could technically put 6 kegs in that thing. That's a lot of beer.
It's a lot of beer.
You could have just turned your old freezer
Can-
into that.
Can you take that mechanism off and put it in a new freezer?
Well, if we can't figure out the bottom, if we can't get the freezer part to work, the compressor,
Yeah.
I will go out and I'll look for a freezer with the same dimensions.
Let me know.
And that
I'll pitch
top's
in on
gonna. I'll take the top portion off and stick it on the new one. But anyways, when we go to pick it up, we open up the Bilko doors.
Oh.
There's a snake about this long,
Huge.
stretched
For him.
across the
For
top.
him, it's huge.
I thought it was a garter snake, so I flipped it off. And I'm trying to kick it away so it doesn't keep trying to get back to the door. It was a copperhead. Whew. Glad I didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, I
My wife would have been with me. We'd have probably had to call the ambulance. She probably would have had a coronary.
I run a lot of trails and I never see snakes. And I hear all these little stories. I'm like, God damn, you know.
Why you want to see a copperhead?
Yeah, well, anything.
I thought
like
it was
snakes.
a garter, but as I was trying to shush it away,
Yeah.
it was leaning back and striking my foot. I'm like, well, garter snakes, don't strike my foot. And the closer I looked at it, it didn't have the long bands going down the back. It was little short ribbons going across it. I'm like, that's a copperhead. If I'd have picked it up, I wouldn't have killed me, but I would have probably got sick.
You would have been pissed.
I'd have been pissed.
You would have drank through the sickness.
Oh, yeah. I still made you carry the freezer out of the basement.
Oh, of course. You didn't do any work except, just talk and drink beer.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
I'm your dad.
You'll be there someday.
So,
One day.
Ben, if you want to get back up and try and do a weekly live thing, by all means, we'll get you hooked up to do it.
We'll see. We'll see.
Get with my Ben. Well, wait after baseball season.
I got other stuff on my schedule. Like I'm missing a complete race tonight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you're
I
into
know.
iRacing.
I know.
He showed me his new car that he
Yeah, I saw
decorated after we did the Isaacs episode. It's all pink flamingos.
Be running for the Coke 600 in the end of May here soon. So keep an eye out on that.
Are those things televised that people can see them on their computers?
Most people stream those on Twitch. Yes, so you can catch whoever is streaming them.
Twitch.
What is Twitch?
Twitch?
Twitch, like a tweeter.
The only thing I knew what a Twitch was, I used to get my ass beat with it.
Yes.
Did your mother make you go
That's a
cut
switch.
your own Twitch?
No, they would bring it, but
Yeah, but-
I heard stories, back when they used to walk to school up hills both ways in the snow, that they used to have to go get their own Twitch. So I don't even know what Twitch is.
It is like another streaming platform for video gamers.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
like we need another one.
There's plenty out there.
I
am
know.
old. And you're my age, Kevin, but you know all this shit.
Are you,
I'm-
are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up. I didn't know that, and I didn't hear that one.
Wow.
All right, Kevin's gonna have an account here probably before the end of the recording.
For the people who do the podcast and learned all about video and streaming.
Yeah, we're still not that good at making sure the content gets out.
I know you got to do better on social media.
Yeah,
That's where you're coming in. That's why
where
we
you're
brought
gonna
you
come
on.
in.
I figured
You,
brought
you
the
think
young
this
guy
is a
in.
free ride? I mean, come on.
You thought me being 30, being young.
That's old now. 30's old now.
See, I don't know this technology anymore.
Yeah, I
these
understand.
Days, guys.
Logan's looking for you.
Logan. Mm-hmm. Logan.
Logan.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
All right, now I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah,
Dave.
I'm drawing a
I
blank.
probably know what you're talking about, but I'm drawing a blank.
There's a movie called Logan's Run.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
And,
I've
and
heard
when
of that,
you
but
when you turn 30, then you're supposed to go to what they call the celebration.
I remember
And
now.
if you skip out on the celebration, then Logan is one of the people that comes looking for you. And they made three movies about that.
I don't remember. Kev, what do you want to see? You want to be on air more?
I don't know. I
We'll
kind
almost
of.
call you a guest sometime.
I know it.
Guest
God
host.
Damn.
special appearance.
That's a good one.
Special. Yes.
We'll get some special music when Kevin's in
I
studio.
will dress up. I will dress up the next event. Thank you.
There you
Sunday.
You
Sunday.
can wear some of my jackets that I have.
I've got my. Well, maybe not as fancy, but I got my own. I don't know. As I've been traveling lately, and I'm going to go back to the sours, but I don't know. Can we get some different? I don't know, different taste, different
So
something.
the same stuff over and over.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because I enjoy that. I mean, because it always goes back to the story. But what type of bling can we bring to this?
Well, and I think it depends on what's currently what the peak
Right.
is right now. What's the
Right.
new flavor?
Right.
The sours had a peak. I think especially the smoothie sours, have kind of like petered out a little bit. And there's NA beers right now are starting to become a popular thing. Seltzers,
Yep. Yep.
and I think they need those kind of products in their brew houses, because not everybody comes with their spouse or significant other likes beer.
When it comes to going to the breweries now, it's a whole new vision, and I think the three of us can agree upon that. You take Liquid Heroes, the old Liquid Heroes, and that was the good old boys, and they all had their own mugs, and I think that's cool.
I think the Mug Club
You know,
thing's cool.
And now you see on the social medias of the breweries, is it okay to bring your kid? Well, why not? You got your dogs and everything else
Yeah.
there. And I'm nothing against that. I'm just, being 55, I'm not used to that. But at the same time, I've made some awesome memories with my kids, with their kids, and their pets. So, it's really cool to me. And I don't want to say it's happening too fast, but you see a lot of things that you would not normally see. In my mindset, I'm going to go to the bar.
That was the old days.
Right, right.
If you were under 21, you were out before 8 or 9.
Right. Now the thing that I kind of dislike is most of these places close at 9:30, 10 o'clock.
10, 11 o'clock, yeah.
And so, that's when things are starting to happen, when my old ass has enough energy to get out there,
That's because we're old.
Yeah. Well, now last weekend, my wife and I were out, and we started at a winery. I think it was right around noon. We drank there until 4:00.
And you sent me a drunk text.
I did. And we stayed downtown York. I had a friend that really hasn't been there in years, so we did one of the quickest freaking roundabouts. You know, we Liquid Heroes, George Street,
Gift horse.
Gift Horse. Thank you. Collusions. All
Did
the way
you
up
walk
and-
to Collusion?
We did. Oh, we didn't walk. We stumbled to Collusions.
That's a pretty good walk from Gift horse.
It is.
That's a pretty good walk.
And we did. We. I'd have to look at my app here on up. You know, but we must have hit 6 or 7 places in less than an hour.
You should have looked up
Wow.
to see if Wolf Bar was open yet. He said he was hoping to have it open by end of
Yeah.
April.
But myself, as well as my friend that hasn't been around, each place we said we were going to try something different, you know, and every place was spot on. Every drink was good, well priced, good atmosphere. You know, downtown York was happening, and I think it's First Friday coming up.
Tomorrow night, isn't it?
Yep.
It's supposed to rain though.
I think I'm still
Oh,
hungover
weekend.
from last week though.
It's supposed to rain.
All weekend.
Yeah. I think that's cool. And I like going to these places. And we've mentioned it numerous times that when we grew up, you went to a bar.
Yeah,
And it's a different atmosphere, like you're saying, when you go to these craft brew places.
that's awesome.
Yes, they don't stay open till 2 a.m., which is fine by me because if I'm staying, nothing good happens after 2 o'clock.
After 10.
After,
Maybe for you old guys.
but you know, it's at your age, I was still hefting the bars at 2 o'clock in the morning. Actually, I was
3.
DJing the bars till 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't miss that scene. I enjoy the more casual
Casual.
atmosphere, inviting. They do entertainment stuff there. Sometimes it's depending on the place. It's a little loud to even have a conversation because of the echo.
Do you remember our food and beer pairing we did with Starview?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
they brought in just those.
Oh, that
local
was fun.
musicians.
And
Yeah.
I incorporated that into the end of the video.
I know. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That was fun.
But
Just something like that. It's a nice casual place.
But you just hit something that to me is pretty important. All levels of income. I don't know the right word. I'm just a simple guy, but you know, I could be sitting here with my shorts and my 10th Mountain shirt on, and you could have your sport jacket on, and Dave could be there with his puppy dog. You know,
Yeah.
and they all mingle together, and there's no, you know, I'm better. You know, it's just one smooth evening. It's a very nice time
Yep.
at all of these establishments.
Yep. Yes, for the most part, I enjoy every one of them. Dave, anything you want to see new stuff other than the food pairings?
Other than the food pairings,
And I don't have our visual looking because I'm looking at you and I'm looking off the screen.
oh yeah, I noticed.
But
that.
with 4 of us, it's kind of tough to get
I'm-
everybody
I'm
on
looking
the screen.
over. I'm looking over at you now, and it looks like I'm looking.
So we're
at
looking off
another
the screen.
group.
Now we're looking. So if you sit there and do like a scroll.
Yeah, the like I said, you know, I do hope that we can elaborate, like on the food pairing is one thing,
We definitely want to pursue a lot more of them.
but I'd like to see us diversify in the other spirits also.
Oh yeah,
And-
I think we need to get more different things other than just beer.
right. And what we tried before was to have a separate podcast for wine. And I think what we should do is we should start incorporating
Yes.
the wine and the whiskey podcast into the mainstream podcast
Yeah,
and have
absolutely.
it part of it.
Yeah, so
So,
the
thank you,
uncorked
Dave.
ideas kind of just didn't work out.
What's that again?
The uncorked idea just
The uncorked idea, I think the problem with that is that it
time commitment.
time commitment was
Yeah.
number one. We had a sommelier, and he was
Wait, can you slow down? What does that word mean? Sommelier?
expert.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but he was a wine expert. But he had a lot of other duties. He was looking into purchasing a house. He also
Yep.
was looking into possibly get. He didn't get married yet, but he was looking at that might be something that might
A lot
might
of
have-
time. Again,
a great
take
time.
time,
Yep, yep.
commitment to do this.
Yeah, and that was one of the problems. And I'm sure if it was one of those deals where if we had said, okay, we blocked you out for May 25th, and that's the date, and have all the people show up that day, I think that would have worked.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we should do. So we should try to bring in a wine podcast and then also a spirits podcast along with our beer podcast and as one happy family. And even with the wine, you can do food samplings,
well, that's where a
food
lot of people
pairing.
do that. They
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just think that's something that, we should look into doing it that way too.
I like that idea, Dave.
Yeah.
That's nice.
didn't you ever hear that adage? You want a little cheese and crackers with your wine?
Yeah. Yeah. I say that to Sandy all the time. Whenever she's whining, I says, do you want your cheese too? And I'll bring it out.
Anyways, I'm still enjoying this. Yes, it is a time commitment. It is a time commitment. So keep us out there. If you have an idea, send us post it in the comments down below. Give us an email at centralpaport@gmail.com. And we're going to continue doing what we're doing, telling stories of the craft industry, whether it's beer, wine, liquor, whatever. We're gonna
She was
continue to
good.
do what we do,
That was good.
and still having fun at doing what we're doing.
Take a sip of this, see if you like it.
All right, we're passing beers around right
Yeah, they're
now.
passing beers around down there.
But
I got every disease you can think of. No, go ahead. No, I don't.
It's very peanut butter like.
Yeah, that's why I like it. The back porch just hit it spot on. It's got one little.
We'll wait for these guys. I'm ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Not your
okay.
cup of tea.
No, not my cup of tea.
You spot a tea, mate. It's bloody good here, mate.
Well, like I said, we're gonna continue doing what we're doing, telling the stories. Hopefully, Kevin won't be traveling as much during some of our recordings, but we will have a special theme when we do have you on. We're gonna get you that little Where's Waldo, like the red and white
I'll wear
shirt
it.
and a little
You know
hat.
what? I'll wear it.
Start putting a little in the comments. Start asking people where you think Kevin's at.
Yeah, we could, and then you could post a picture. Where am I at today? But anyways, give us a like, subscribe, keep us going, have fun. What was that one from Erie? And it'll be
She's,
on the episode. Changing lives one pint at a time. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
There
Yeah,
you
that
go.
was
That's pretty cool. But if you're out there, let's raise a glass with Ben, Kevin, Dave, and myself in the Central PA Pour, and let's all be bonded by beer. Cheers.
Cheers.